Yoruba say that Ilelawo Katosomo Loruko. What this means is we don't just pin names out of the blues. No. We observe circumstances and scenarios surrounding the birth of a child. We take a look at what was happening or what is happening at the time of the child's birth. What are the traditional beliefs? What are the religious beliefs of the child's family? On what day of the week was the child born, and what is that day known for traditionally or spiritually? Also, parents can think of what are my aspirations for this child, and they put all of this together. They think about all of these things before they give names to their children in Yoruba land. I know it sounds like a whole lot, but look on the brighter side. See it as a thoughtful process, the intentionality that goes into child naming in Yoruba culture. So I ask, what is your name? Ẹnlẹ́, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí gbàgede Tana dùn. Orúkọ mi ni Tana. Èmi sì lolùkọ́ yín lórí gbàgede yìí. Ibi ni a ti ń kọ́ èdè Yorùbá, tí a sì ti ń kọ́ nípa ẹ̀yà Yorùbá lápapọ̀. First, let me apologize. I know this is the second time I'm apologizing on this channel, and this time around it's something I can't even deal with because it's natural. I'm having cold, so in case my voice sounds off, please bear with me. Alright, so let's get into this video. We've established some of the factors that the Yoruba people consider before giving their children names. And you will agree with me that in this current age, we've got very creative with names. We have very beautiful names around, like Oluwafire Fumi, Jesulayomi, you know, all these beautiful names. I think I like Generala. But before we get lost in this bed of beautiful names, let's take it one step at a time. Like the Yorubas will say, Eje katibi pelebe mo leje. Alright? So yeah, names are important, even spiritual, at least in the Yoruba setting. And the Yoruba people protect their names a lot. They cherish it. They believe that one's name forms the bulk of one's identity. It is why they say things like Mabawa Loruko je. They tell a child, Mabawa Loruko je, or Ranti omo eni ti won se, Gbe Oruko idile ga. You know, all these many things that they say just to say that, look, our names are important to us and we do not make light of our names. So you have to protect and do everything in your capacity as a child bearing the name of their family to protect the name so that you don't create a bad or negative identity for the family because you share the name. So all that talk is just to show you how much the Yorubas esteem their names. So now let's get into the different name categories that we have in Yoruba land. We'll take them one by one. So 1, Oruko Amutorunwa. Oruko Amutorunwa is destiny name. I like to call it natural names because it's not something you have to cook up. They're names that are attached to a child. It's like Amutorunwa is like the name you brought from heaven, is why they call it destiny names. So for instance, we have Taye Kende, those are twins, the names given to twins. So Taiwo is the first one, while Kende is the second one. And Taiwo is actually Tayewo, To Ayewo. So that is the belief that the first one to come and check, you know, see what the world looks like. Then it gives its second Kende signal to, okay, you know what, you can come, it's all good right here, so you can come join us here. And so Kende comes next. Kende is Akende, the person who comes later, that is, or after, that is Kende. In that sequence, we have Idowu, Alaba, Idogbe. Now, Idowu, Alaba, Idogbe, in that sequence are the children who follow after twins. So after Taiwo Kende that formed the twins, you now have Idowu, the next child after Taye Kende. They call them Taye Kende. Then after Idowu comes Alaba. So if you have triplets, definitely you'll be bearing, your children will be bearing Taye, Kende, Idowu. If you have quadruplets, you have Taye, Kende, Idowu, Alaba. After Alaba or Idobe comes Oni, and after Oni comes Ola. So that is the sequence for those names in that order. But if you only have twins and then you have single birth following the twins, the next child after your set of twins will be Idowu, and the next child after Idowu will be Alaba, unlike that. Oruko Amutorunwa also speaks to how a child was born, and in that category we have, of course, in the same category where we have Taye Kende, we also have names like Ojo for male and Aino for female. Ojo and Aino are babies who come with their umbilical cord tied around or wrapped around their neck. So Ojo is male, Aino is female. We have Oke. Oke is a child that was born, that came into the world in its amniotic sac. Ige. I have a personal affiliation with Ige. Ige is a child that comes feet first instead of coming with the head first. So in this contemporary time, they'll say it's a breech baby. Well, in Yoruba, such a child is called Ige. Ajayi is a child that comes facing downwards. So I believe children would naturally come facing upwards, but Ajayi turns itself and faces downwards. Ilori. Ilori is a child that the mother did not have prior menstruation, did not see her menses prior to, conceiving the baby. While Dada is popular, and that's because the child has coily or sort of locked hair, or the hair on the baby's head was sort of locked when it was born. That's for Dada. We also have Olugbodi. Olugbodi is a child that has a sixth or an extra finger. I think there are probably rare cases, but it must have been a thing for Yorubas to have a name for them. So Olugbodi are those ones who have extra finger. Now, we have other name examples in the same category. So for children who their grandparents died before they were born, maybe shortly or months before they were born, there's also a name for them. And for females, you have names like Yewande, Yetunde, Yejide. For males, we have Babatunde, Babawande, Babajide. A child that was born on the road. So let's say a pregnant woman went into labor while she was walking on the road, and they couldn't get her to a midwife before she delivered the baby. Such a baby is called, or such a child is called Abiono. That is, it was given birth to on the road. Abisiono. That is Abiono. A child whose father was away when the mother gave birth to the child is called Abidemi. Abidemi. So, like, I was away and my wife gave birth to this child before I came back. So that is Abidemi. We also have children born during festive period. Now, it's not just Christmas or Easter or even the Muslim festive period. In traditional setting, there are different festive periods. So you can have names reflecting that this child was born during a major festive period. You have names like Abiodun, Bodunde, Odunade. Names like that usually have Odun attached to it, so this child was born during a festive period. Number 2, Oruko Esin. Esin is religion, and parents give names based on their religious beliefs, the deities that they worship in their family. And we have different deities. We have deities like Shango, Oya, Oshun, Ogun, Obatala, Ifa. They have all these things that they worship. And these deities form the prefix for the name. So we have examples like Ogunrinde, Ogunlano, Shangobunmi, Oyafunke, Oshunike, Ifaniyi, Eshubiyi, Egunlabi. Worshippers of Orisha Oko use Osho or Sho. So you have names like Sholanke. Now, this Osho is different from Osho as in witch. This Osho refers to Orisha Oko. However, in modern times, Western religion has taken over, and people replace these Shango and Oya and every other deity's names with Oluwa, Olorun, Jesu, and etc. and etc. So you can have names like Jesu to fún mi, Jesu ṣeun fún mi, Oluwa ló ṣe yìí. Instead of Shango ṣe yìí, you hear Oluwa ló ṣe yìí. So it's just, the difference is just that the prefix has changed, and people are trying to reflect that, oh, this is who we now worship, as against in the past when it was those deities that were the sole forms of worship for the Yoruba people. I'm so sorry, guys, this code is dealing with me. Please bear with me. Number 3, Oruko Abiku. I've done a video on Abiku, actually, Abiku as a whole, and I listed some names and explained what those names are. I'll link the video in the description box. But Oruko Abiku is for children who keep coming back. So Abiku is a child who was given birth to and then he dies. So when you watch that video, you get a full grasp of what Abiku is about. But for the sake of this video, we have different Abiku names like Malomo, Ada, Kilanko, Omonije, Igbekoyi, Kosoko, Durotimi, Durosimi. So those are names, those are Abiku names. Moving on, number 4, Oruko Abiso. Oruko Abiso are acquired names, generic names. Anybody can bear such names, and here people get really creative. So, but at the same time, Oruko Abiso, that's acquired names, they can reflect the kind of family that the child has come from. What is their societal status? What do they do? What do they stand for? Or again, it can also reflect the hopes or the aspirations or wishes or dreams of a parent for the child. For names that reflect status, we have what we call Idile Oba. So royal families usually have Ade in their names, whether as prefix or somewhere in the middle of the name. You mostly have them bearing names with Ade. So you have Adekemi, Fadirera, Adeniyi, Adeola. So we have those names like that. Now, sometimes people mistake one Ade for the other. So it could be ambiguous in some cases. For instance, Adebayo can either mean crown gave birth to joy, that is Adebiayo, or it can mean someone who arrived and met joy, and it's Adebayo, Adebayo. So it could either be Adebiayo, that is Ade crown, B gave birth to Ayo joy, or it can mean Ade, that is Ade, someone who arrived, Ba Ayo, and met joy. So be careful not to generalize and say anytime you just hear Ade, it means that, oh, that, or wherever you see Ade in the name, it means that, oh, it is crown. No, you have to break down the structure of the name to know what it is, whether it is crown or it is someone who arrived. So don't make that mistake. But if you want to learn more about name structures and everything, you can follow me on Instagram. There on Fridays I put post of names, and then I just break down the structure so that people know what has made up that name that they are hearing. So anyway, moving on. For people who hold chieftaincy titles, there are families of chiefs actually in Yoruba land. People like that use Oye instead of Ade. So they use prefixes that represent their position as title holders. So you have Oyenike, Oyewale, Oyebanji, and other names like that. Then for people who are considered to be warriors, men of valor in the society, they use names like Akin. So you hear names like Akinola, Akinbamidele, Akiniyi, Morakinyo. So those names, and most of the time, those names with Akin are usually given to male children, much more than female children, because it is believed that men are the ones who go to battle, not the women. So they are mostly used for male children. On a general scale, you can get creative with Oruko Abiso, as long as it makes sense to you. It gives a positive meaning, and there's a positive energy flowing around the name, then I think you're good. But be careful not to just nonchalantly use Ade if you are indeed not from a royal family. I know some people argue that, we are all princes and princesses, we are all kings and queens. But traditionally, Ade is a prefix for people from the royal family. Oye is for people who hold chieftaincy titles or who are title holders in their towns. Akin is for children, for families where they are known to be warriors. So let us establish that traditional or cultural fact before we get all woke and conventional, contemporary or modern in this age, and then we just model everything together. All right, the final name category we're taking in this video is Oruko Oriki. Oruko Oriki is a panegyric or epithet. We use Oruko Oriki to praise a child. Such names are usually given by older relatives most of the time. The male names, the male Oruko Oriki, those ones show bravery, courage, strength. I don't know. Men are associated with strength, while women are associated with care, softness, pampering. I don't know why women in this age are fighting to be strong. Anyways, for females, we have Ashake, Adoni, Akonke, Abebi, Abefe. I think I like that one, but the one I gave myself is Abeke. Was it Abeke? Anyways, we have all these beautiful names, Akonke, Adufe. And we have for male names, we have Akonji. They're usually strong. They usually sounding strong too. Akonji, Akongbe, pardon me, Alabi, Alade, Inyonda, Ishola, and so on and so on. So there you have the name categories in Yoruba land. You tell me in the comment section below, what is your name and what is the meaning of your name? Using this video, tell me which category your name falls under. In case you would like to frame up your name in a beautiful way with some beautiful messages, the link to order will be in the description box. Your name, your frame, however you want it. Share this video with your friends. Let them come and learn what category their name falls under, and please subscribe on this channel. Matumari nínú fọ́nrán mi. Ó dàbọ̀.